The Huntington Beach Jane Doe, 1990. Identified as Andrea Culper. Andrea was 26 when she set off from Fairfax, Virginia, on a personal quest to find and meet her biological parents. At some point, she called home to her adoptive family to let them know that she was okay. The likable young woman met many people along the way, and people remembered her. She was personable, and she found a number of people who wanted to help her. A mobile home salesman and his family took her in for a few nights. They fed her, they offered the spare room, and they even purchased her some new clothes. They told authorities they believed her name was Andrea. The family believed she may have been 16 or younger, and that she was a runaway. These people came forward to help identify her after it came out that on April 1st, 1990, she was killed after stepping into traffic while in Huntington Beach, California. Multiple vehicles were involved in the accident, and she passed away at the scene. It's unknown if she did this on purpose, though it appears she may have. Her family explained she had a history of bipolar depression. When she was found, she was wearing a ring made of human hair, which they noted was a little odd. It would later be disclosed that she was often known to wind her own hair around her finger out of habit. While the locals tried to solve the case, it would not be until 2017, 27 years after she passed away. Fingerprints were taken from her body and entered into APHIS, and with the aid of NamUs, they matched a missing person named Andrea Culper. Her father, Richard, released a statement at the time of her identification. We are thankful to know what happened to our daughter after all of these years. Andrea was loved and respected, and she was beautiful. But she was manic-depressive, and therefore we had been through quite an adventure. Andrea went unidentified for 27 years. The Campbell County Jane Doe, also known as Baby Girl. This is another yet-to-be-identified Jane Doe. Campbell County is located in the state of Tennessee, near the city of Jellicoe. It was there a young Jane Doe was found in 1985. They were unable to determine her cause of death, in part because there were only 32 bones found. Her remains were located in an area that was typically used to dump garbage, because, of course, she was. She was found near an abandoned shaft mine. Unfortunately, animals had scattered so much of her remains down beyond the slope of a hill. Investigators believe that because of the location, the perpetrators knew the area. It wasn't an easy-to-find spot. They did further testing but did not specify as to what kind. But usually that means an isotope test. The test indicated she was likely born and raised in Florida or Central Texas for the first few years of her life, and that she later moved to one or more locations in the Midwest, somewhere in the Rocky Mountains or the Pacific Coast states. They estimate her age was 9 to 15, but I have a personal theory on this one. It's my personal belief she's on the higher end. She was wearing size 5 hiking boots, and while kids today seem to have larger feet, it wasn't typical growing up in the 80s, and I'm somewhat close to her age. I wore a size 5 in the beginning of high school, and a 7 later on. And 7 is the most average typical size. Obviously, this is a guess, but I'm pretty confident she was at least in her teens. If they are right with the age, she was born from 1970 to 1976. It has been theorized she was one of the redhead murder victims, but there's no proof. There has for sure been a lot of murders in that area around the same time, where people had red hair. It was usually vulnerable women making risky choices in order to get by and put food on the table. We know she had silver fillings and good dental care. She was wearing a necklace made from plastic buttons. The Campbell County Jane Doe has gone unidentified for 36 years. Still to be identified John Doe. The Vergne County John Doe, 1978. A campground custodian found an unidentified man at the Pool Knob campground near Vergne in Rutherford County, Tennessee. He was in his 30s and was about 5'10", with reddish-brown hair and a gray beard. The poor man had been shot, burned, and his body located on August 1st, 1978. Upon examination, they were able to tell he had no teeth, and he'd gotten dentures perhaps 5 to 10 years before. He still had the dentures, and they were described as bootlegged with Salivabac, which was a brand of ceramic teeth. He had scars on his stomach, possibly from surgery on his aorta, using a Dacron graft, which would have been to repair blood vessels. He also had a quarter-sized mole about 2 inches away from his waistline. He was believed to be 31 to 45 at the time. That means his family is looking for a missing person born between the years 1933 and 1947. The Rutherford County John Doe, 1978, has gone unidentified for 43 years. Thanks everybody for watching and listening. We have new episodes every Monday and Thursday. Take care of yourselves and each other.